Welcome to this week's another week of TFL's Capital Connection. We're glad that you're tuning in. I know there are a lot of viewers and listeners right now. They have one question on their mind, plain and simple. Well, I'm hearing it all the time. Where is heartbeat legislation now? Chuck, let me start with you. Give just kind of the path of what brings us to today. And then Danny, if you want to just tag in, and what do we need to do now moving forward? So Chuck, tell us how we got to where we're at today, and then Danny, what do we need to do to move forward?
Okay, for the next hour, we have put a ton of work into this. We meaning you and us. Literally thousands of prayers, hundreds of conversations, and then 5 critical legislative steps through the Senate and then through the House committees. And we've got really 2 steps to go, the full House and then the governor's signature. So we're really close, but we still have to work really hard in the House.
If I could take you back just one, or quite a few steps probably, but 1973, we had a really bad court decision called Roe v. Wade. And what it's led to is the abortion of 60 million babies. And we've always wanted to take a stand for the sanctity of human life, but we also wanted to pass legislation that would overturn Roe v. Wade. Danny, why does heartbeat legislation give you hope that if we are to pass it out of the House, and Kim Reynolds is to sign it, and we all know that the court is going to stop it, why does it give you hope that this legislation could overturn Roe v. Wade?
For 2 reasons, Bob. First of all, heartbeat legislation reflects the advances in medical technology that were not there 45 years ago. We didn't have the ability to detect a heartbeat at this early stage. So it's reasonable to bring that before a court. The other thing that, if you'll recall, some of the rhetoric around Roe v. Wade was that abortion should be rare, legal, and safe. That has not proven to be the case. Yes. It is not rare. It happens all too often in Iowa, over 3,000 times a year. Legal in terms of a court interpretation. Remember, these weren't laws.
This isn't a law.
They weren't laws that were passed by a legislature or a self-governing society. It was handed down from a court. And it is not safe. As Representative Sandy Salmon quoted during the committee debate, abortion always results in the death of a baby, and a mother is either wounded or killed. So it is not safe. It is time, after 45 years, for a court to take a new look at that very poor decision that was made in 1973.
If I can add one other point to that, with heartbeat, it also signifies that that is a person. Because there's not 2 heartbeats with one person. That second heartbeat is a person. And the crux of the Roe v. Wade is that if we could ever determine that that is a person, it collapses. There is no way we could grant the right to have an abortion. That, to me, is key in overturning Roe v. Wade.
And you know, Bob, that was a defining moment during the committee debate. Chuck, you'll remember because you were there. Representative Rob Taylor spoke up towards the end when they were having closing remarks. And he was actually reacting something that one of the Democrats mentioned about disparity. He used the term disparity. And he said, you know, he said, I'll kind of paraphrase his remarks. He said, I don't know that I fully appreciated what this was about. But he said, there's a disparity between the way we treat a person in the womb and a person out of the womb. And why? Why that disparity? And it was an impressive moment for Representative Taylor.
So I think it's a great opportunity, and I got to tell you, I'm so impressed and inspired by the resolve of our team, of the coalition, of elected office holders down at Des Moines of saying, no, we are going to pass heartbeat. We are going to move this through.
A lot of support.
But Chuck, we also have to be honest. We have to be transparent with our viewers. It's in the Iowa House, and it at least appears right now that it's silent. Well, what's taking place behind the scenes? What do we need to do to get it to the floor of the House so it can be voted and passed?
Behind the scenes, there are a dozen or so House members who, for a variety of reasons, aren't comfortable telling the Speaker, yes, I'll vote for the bill. So we're visiting with those, more than a dozen, because we don't know exactly who it is, and we've got good ideas, but they keep that very close. So we're communicating with close to 20 House members who have expressed some concern and just want to remain behind the scenes. Well, the fact is, a vote of this nature can't remain behind the scenes forever. So it's coming to a head, and we're going to have some fireworks. We're trying to keep the fireworks down. We're trying to be affirming and listen carefully and understand people have personal as well as philosophical as well as legal concerns. They think, well, if it's just going to get overturned in the courts, what's the use? And we have great arguments to counter all those things, but it just takes a long time. What can you do? You can first of all pray. We believe that the single greatest weapon is spiritual. We wrestle against principalities and powers and not primarily wrestling against flesh and blood. So please pray that God would move in the hearts and minds of really, we think, another 6 to 8 legislators, and we'll be there. Then second would be contact those legislators, and what you need to do is just simply stay in touch with our email. We will tell you who and when and where and how and why, and even suggested language. So just stay tuned, please pray and then act, and then we'll see what happens in the next few days or weeks. We're really close to the end.
In addition to everything that you just said, there's another thing you can do. After watching this, you're going to go to church on Sunday, you're going to be at your place of business, or you're going to be out in the community on Saturday. If you know your state representative, talk to them. And if they say, yes, I am in support of Heartbeat, you can count on me, thank them. Thank them, thank them, thank them. If you have one that's maybe undecided or maybe a no, talk to them, love on them, encourage them. This is their Esther moment for such a time as this. I really believe that. This is how crucial this is. So use your power of influence with your legislators, but do it in the right, honoring way. Danny Carroll, we're coming close to the end of session. Heartbeat is on our mind, maybe other things too, but right now, Heartbeat. Give us some final thoughts. How do we close and close well?
Well, Bob, I was just sitting here thinking about the years that I served, and this reminds me of being late in the fourth quarter. People are getting tired. The public is tired of hearing about the legislature, and the legislators are tired, and yet this is when it gets to be really hard. We're talking about Heartbeat, but they're also struggling to put together a $7 billion budget, and they haven't passed any of those bills yet. That's still got to be done. They're looking at some kind of a tax cut precipitated by the federal action. That's going to be hard, and so they've got to do that. We need to encourage them, give them a pat on the back. Finish the game strong. You've come this far. Finish it up. They've got options. The Heartbeat bill is on what's called the unfinished business calendar. There aren't very many bills that make it to that calendar. A lot of them go by the wayside. This survived the funnel. It's on unfinished business. And remember, Bob, and Chuck, you know too, this came out of the Senate with unanimous Republican support and one independent. It passed the Senate 30-20. Those senators are not going to be excited about going home without getting this bill to the governor's desk.
And you know this better than I do, but the senators, they are excited about this bill and the opportunity that it holds. And many House members are as well. And I do believe we have a governor that will sign it. So Chuck, real quick, closing thoughts.
You make it possible. When you support us and allow Danny and me to be there all day, every day, having these hard conversations. We met with the Speaker and the Majority Leader just 2 days ago and got the latest on it in the House. So you make it possible. Your prayers are as powerful or more powerful than ours. So let's work as a team together and let's get the ball in the end zone.
You know, I think what Chuck told us the other day in a team meeting is so right. He said prayer is our most powerful weapon. And right now we're going to encourage you to team up with us in prayer. The YouVersion Bible app, many of you have it. Over 300 million people have downloaded that app. And they are running a 5-day prayer initiative that the family leader has put together called the Daniel Difference. We need Daniels today. We need prayers today. So I'd encourage you, go to that YouVersion Bible app. We will have a link on this email where you're seeing this video to where you can easily get to it. But join us in prayer. Download the If 714 app. But bring your church, bring your small group, bring your community, bring your family, but let's be in prayer together, and specifically that we would pass Heartbeat legislation. Let Iowa lead the way for such a time as this. Thank you for joining us at TFL's Capital Connection, and we hope to see you next week, and hopefully we're celebrating good news.